Okay, so once again, good morning, everyone. So our topic for today is about malware. Is there somebody who have an idea about malware? How do you understand malware? None of you? Okay, so in this lesson, no, again, this will be focused on a malware. Now, so at the end of the session, the students are expected to accept. Define and know the functions of malware, recognize types of infectious malware, and using antivirus software. Okay? So, now, there's somebody who are still joining. Okay, so again, malware is a malicious software that is designed to install itself on a computer or device without owner's consent. Please turn off your video, your microphone. Thank you. Again, malware is a malicious software, no, that is designed to install itself on a computer or device without the owner's consent. So it is used as an umbrella term to describe the following types of malicious software. Of course, number one is viruses. No, viruses is a malware that can replicate when triggered by a human action and cause damage to a computer. Okay. Worms, it is a self-replicating malware that uses a computer network. Again, if the viruses replicate when triggered by a human action, worms, self-replicating malware that use a computer network to send copies of itself to other computers. The Trojan horses or the Trojan horse, a non-self-replicating malware that pretends to be a harmless applications. Imagine that it pretends to be a harmless application. How about the rootkits? Okay, how about the rootkits? No? Rootkits is a malware that enables continued access to computers or devices while hiding their presence. So imagine, the rootkits could able to continuing access your computers, no, while hiding their presence. You are not able to acknowledge that the rootkits is ongoing, no, accessing your computers. The backdoor is a method of bypassing normal authentication in an attempt to remain undetected. Now, for example, if you have some password, you have a firewall, no, backdoor is a method of bypassing normal authentication. No, this is usually done in an attempt to secure remote access to the computer. Now, the types of data thefts. No, data theft is the illegal access, no, reading, editing, or copying. Take note, if you are editing or copying the files or the software, that is data theft. No, if you are getting illegal access to the data without the data owner's authorizations. So if you are unauthorized, no problem with it. No, data can be stolen in many ways. No. Now, attackers generally use malware for monetary gain. No, they can use infected computers to generate income in many ways. So one of the simplest is through advertising. So just as many of the websites generate income by displaying ads, malware can display ads that results in payments to the cyber criminal. No, Actually, in some cases, no, hackers use a group of zombie computers, no, known as botnet, no, to send a large amount of requests and traffic to a server or website. This can result in the networking being inaccessible to normal users. And this type of attack is known as the distributive denial of service attack. No, we didn't know that maybe when we open a website, we wait for so long. But there are certain cases that it happens, the attack by the DDoS, no, or the distributed denial of service attack. No, the attackers then extort money from the owner in exchange for stopping the attack. No, some hackers may also use a type of malware called ransomware that encrypts a user's data and demand payment for them to decrypt the data. And basically, the user's data is held for ransom. That's why it's called ransomware. The user is forced to pay the attacker to release the data. Now, hackers may use banking trojans, no, for the purpose of gaining unauthorized access to bank accounts. No, a banking trojan is a sophisticated type of malware that allows the attacker to take control of the victim's machine and steal a user's credentials, thereby allowing the hacker to use the victim's identity to perform banking transaction. Okay, so now here is the example of the way data theft and extortion can happen using malware. No, we have what we call adware. No, adware is a typical software that automatically downloads and display unwanted ads. No, it is used by authors.
Cellphone holder doon, di ba?
Okay, adware. This is a type of software that automatically downloads and display unwanted ads. No, it is used by authors to generate revenue and collect data without the victim's knowledge or consent. So some adware may trick users into downloading malwares or visiting malicious website. On the other hand, spyware, hackers use spyware to monitor all your activities. No? As you can see, for example, in Facebook. No? So once you search about, for example, about motorcycle, once you open your Facebook, automatically displays about motorcycle. And that is spyware. No? Okay? Again, as I mentioned, spyware could be unintentionally installed when a user clicks on adware or install seemingly harmless files. Now, how about botnet? No, the term boot is short for robot. No, criminals distribute malware that can turn your computer into a boot. No, when this occurs, your computer can perform automated tasks over the internet without you knowing it. So criminals typically use boots to infect large number of computers, and these computers from a network or from a botnet. How about the keylogger? A keylogger is a hardware or software-based tools used to keep track of or record the keys track on a keyboard. No, this is usually done covertly, so as not to alert the users that their keystroke are being recorded. So this allow a hacker to secretly gather confidential data such as passwords and credit card information without the victim's knowledge. Excuse. How about the dialer? A dialer is a program that tries to establish a phone connections with a premium rate number. It infects computers that uses a modem to connect to the modem to connect a computer, or modem to connect to the internet, as it modifies the phone and modern configuration. So changing the number provided by the ISP or the internet service provider, which is normally charged at local rates for an expensive premium rate telephone numbers, often located in small countries far from the host computer. So alternatively, it can dial a hacker's machine to transmit stolen data. And that is dialer. Now, understanding antivirus software and its limitation, because a while ago we discussed about different identity theft and some data theft and extortion happen in using a malware. So this time, we need to understand the antivirus software and its limitations. Again, antivirus software identifies and eliminates various malware by scanning files in your computer system. So it is important to have antivirus software installed on your computer to reduce the threat of malicious and damaging threats to your information and work. So of course, antivirus software uses two different techniques to accomplish this, no? Scanning and examining files on the computer system and comparing them to no malware based on certain virus signatures. No? By checking programs for various types of bad behavior which may indicate a new type of virus, and this technique is known as heuristic checking. Now, most well-known antivirus software in the market use both techniques when performing a scan. Antivirus software needs an updated list of the newest viruses and other malware in order to be effective in protecting your system. That's why every now and then there are some updates, no, in your antivirus, no? Because without this, software may be unable to detect some viruses. So the capabilities of different antivirus software varies depending on how updated the software is. It is also essential to keep web browsers, plugins, application, operating system up to date, as most updates contain bug fixes and measures that will help keep developed viruses and malware from your computer. Again, it is also essential to keep web browsers, plugins, application, and operating systems up to date. Okay? Now, how about the limitations of the antivirus? Now, antivirus software features, no? The various antivirus software has different features, as I mentioned a while ago, no? The most basic antivirus software, especially free programs, can be limited because they can only protect computers for certain virus variants, but will not protect computers for the more sophisticated ones. Okay? The zero-day exploit, no? A zero-day exploit is a type of attack on a computer system which has an unknown or undisclosed vulnerability. So this type of attack takes advantage of the fact that there is no known patch for the vulnerability at the time of the attack. On the vulnerabilities, the antivirus software is also limited because it cannot stop exploits, no, which attack vulnerabilities or security flows inherent in the operating systems. Now, how about the quarantine files? No, when antivirus software encounters uninfected files, no, there are generally three options available. Maybe you're familiar with different different antivirus. No, they have clean, quarantine, or remove. So quarantine attempts to move the file to safe location that is managed by the antivirus. Now, I will show you a demo, or I will show you a video presentation on how to use Microsoft Security Essentials, Security Essentials in a way that all computers installed with Microsoft Windows, like Windows 10, has an antivirus already, the Microsoft Security Essentials. But most of the time, the persons who are using computer doesn't have an idea on how to use the Microsoft Security Essentials. Okay, so to give you a video, I will give you a video presentation as I mentioned. Just watch and listen, of course, with the video presentation for you also to learn on how to use this kind of Microsoft Security Essentials, which is too important because if you installed a Microsoft Windows 7, 10, it's already there, no? The Microsoft Essential Security Essentials. But if you don't have, if you uninstall the Microsoft Security Essential, you just simply download, no, the Microsoft Security Essentials. But take note, of course, we have 32 bits and 64 bits. Try to find out your the bits of your computer is just 32 or 64 bits before downloading the Microsoft Essential, as I mentioned.
PC Doctor.
Hello, this is Paul from Mobile PC Doctor, and in this tutorial I'm going to run through Microsoft Security Essentials. Now this is free from Microsoft up to Windows 7, so previously it worked on Windows Vista and Windows XP, but because those two operating systems now are obsolete, Microsoft Security Essentials is now only for Windows 7. Now before I open up the program, I just want to point out this icon down here. Now it's amber. This is a little house with a little flag, that's what I see. It's turned to amber. Now under normal running conditions the icon will be green, but it's turned to amber, and that means it needs a scan or an update. So you can either double click here or right click and open, or you can double click on the icon if you have one on your desktop. So let's go ahead and open the program. Okay, so here's Microsoft Security Essentials, and the first thing you see is amber, and there's a big fat button here that says scan now. Click that button. Microsoft Security Essentials will actually scan and do it. It basically is a routine scan. That's what it's doing. It needs regular routine scans, and they're engaged by the user. They won't happen by themselves. They will. It will require you to run a scan. Now it's running a quick scan, so that means it's only looking in the most obvious places where threats will reside. It's not scanning every nook and cranny. If you do a full scan, it can take several hours, and I've heard in extreme cases on slow computers it can take, 5+ hours to do a scan, which is a long time. A quick scan won't take anywhere near that length of time, so this is the one to go for on a routine basis. There you go. So the scan is now completed, and on my computer it scanned 78,000 files, and that took just a couple of minutes. So for me that was very quick. If we close this down a second, alright, what I would recommend is that on a regular basis you just open up Microsoft Security Essentials if you have this one installed, and just check that it's green. Once everything's green, you can then close it down, or check this icon down here that's green with a white tick in the middle. Everything's good to go. If it's amber, then click the amber button for it to either update or scan. If you want to do your own updates manually, you can click the update tab and then click on the update button. It will search the Microsoft servers, and if there's anything to come down, it will then download it and install it. And just to bring to your attention, you've got this icon, it's gone now, but the icon animated slightly differently again. There was an arrow that was pointing downward as it was downloading off the internet. So the icon changes. I think there's like 5 different examples. There's the red icon that loads at the beginning to say that it's not fully working until it's connected to the internet. There's the amber icon that says it needs an update or a scan, and there's the scan icon where the icon has a yellow circle in the middle going round and round and round, and then there's the download button where the arrow points down and animates. Microsoft Security Essentials is now updated. You can have a look at the history to see any threats found. I've got a clean history there. And in the settings, when you perform a scheduled scan, you can select whether you want to do a quick scan or a full scan. By default, it's set to quick scan, and I would leave it at that. You can tell it what day of the week you want it to scan automatically and at what time. Thing is, the computer has to be on at this time. Sundays at 2 o'clock. I don't think I set this anyway. That's 2 o'clock in the morning. The computer's off, so that's no good, and it won't actually scan. So, you might say, well, I'll have a Wednesday at 9 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock when I switch my laptop on. But if it misses the scan, the icon down here would turn amber. So that would then prompt you to open the program, click the amber button, Okay, this tick box, check for the latest virus and software definitions before running a scheduled scan. Yes, that's important. Start the scheduled scan only when my PC is on but not in use. And you can limit the CPU usage. Now, every time you get an antivirus that's scanning, it's using the CPU. Now, I'm just going to go into my task manager and look at performance. Your CPU will go up to maximum very quickly, in an instant, up and down, and it can't go any faster than 100%. Because your computer is running all these processes in the background, plus what you want it to do, go on the internet, check your emails, play music, watch videos, whatever it is you want to do, it takes time away from the CPU. So see this CPU as the lady at Tesco's serving you when you buy your food. She can only work so fast, she can only work so hard, and once she's up to maximum capacity, there's nothing else you can get her to do any faster. She's working maximum speed. And so this limit CPU usage is just saying that, how much of CPU time do you want to use? If you put it down to its lowest 10%, it means that most of the CPU time will be available for other tasks, which means when it runs a scan, it's going to take much longer. If you put it up to 100%, it means it's going to use all of the CPU available just to run this program, which means that your computer will then become quite sluggish, but the scan will finish much sooner. So it depends. So what they do is default is they set it at 50%, kind of a halfway. So you can tweak this if you want to, and then click Save Changes if you've made any changes. All right, so that's a quick rundown of Microsoft Security Essentials. I highly recommend this program, but you must keep your eye on the security. Make sure that it's green. Make sure the icon down here stays green. As soon as it turns to amber, then open the program and click the amber button. If you found this tutorial helpful, then please like the video or comment below.
Okay, so that this will be an example on how we'll be able to use our Microsoft Security Essentials to keep safe our personal computers or even laptops. Now, maybe somebody are also asking about, sir, what will be the difference of the Microsoft Security Essentials to Windows Defender, Windows Security? So I will show you again the video presentations on how we'll be able to differentiate the two, no? The Windows Defender, Windows Security, and the Microsoft Security Essentials. So since you have already an idea on how you'll be able to use the Microsoft Security Essentials, which is too important for us, especially for those who are always downloading ebooks, no? Lectures, and so on, PowerPoint presentations. So therefore, it is advisable for us to schedule, no, the Microsoft Security Essential updates, no, or even the on how we'll be able to quarantine our files now using the Microsoft Security Essentials. This time, I just want also to share with you the difference between the Windows Security Defenders into Microsoft Security Essentials.
Between Windows Defender, Windows Security, and Microsoft Security Essentials. Hi everyone, I'm Leo Notenboom for AskLeo.com. After an 18-year career at Microsoft, I started answering people's questions here at AskLeo in 2003. One of the things that's been consistent across many of the last 17 years is Microsoft's inability to come up with clear product names that don't confuse the heck out of people. Today's question is, in fact, a case in point. Let me read you the question. My computers sometimes say Windows Security, sometimes Microsoft Security Essentials, and other times Windows Defender. What are they? Why are there different ones showing up at different times? What's the difference? Does it really matter which one shows up? So the names all seem innocuous enough for sure, but they all, for the most part, mean the same thing, with, of course, one name that can mean two or three different things. Like I said, Microsoft does not disappoint when it comes to picking confusing names. Let's review what those products are, what they're called, and with a little bit of history, why they're called what they are. Windows security. If you're running Windows 10, this is what you want. And the good news is, chances are, this is what you have. This is the anti-malware tool and security center within Windows 10. It's pre-installed, it's ready to go, it's really all you need for most people.
As video mentioned, no, it is free and available in Windows 10, no, operating system.
It actually is my recommended security solution for most people running Windows 10. If you want to find it, you can simply go to the Settings app and click on Update and Security. It'll be right there. Windows security includes anti-malware scanners and tools, tools to secure your Microsoft account, firewall and network-related protection, and much more. Like I said, it's a one-stop solution for all of your Windows 10 security needs. Now we need to talk about Windows Defender. Which Windows Defender turns out to be significant? Windows Defender number 1. What was once called Windows Defender in Windows 10 and Windows 8 is now called Windows Security. In other words, it's Windows Security by another name. They just changed the name of Windows Defender in Windows 10 and Windows 8 to Windows Security. In fact, if you start searching for Windows Defender in Windows, click the Start button, start typing Windows Defender, you'll see that in fact Windows Security is one of the suggested results because for much of what people are looking for, it's the same. Except, of course, when it's not. Which brings us to Windows Defender number 2. As you can see from the search results, Windows Defender Firewall is actually the first search result that shows up currently if you start looking for Windows Defender. My belief is that this is a portion of the security suite installed in Windows 10 that has not yet been renamed. In fact, the old interface looks very much like exactly what you would find in the firewall in any version of Windows, any recent version of Windows. My belief is not only have they not yet renamed the firewall to be part of the Windows security suite, but in fact, they're probably going to change the interface to be part of the new modern interface used in Windows 10. That has been an incremental evolution, and I suspect that this is just one of the last pieces to be left behind. It probably will change in future updates. But we're not done with Windows Defender yet. Windows Defender number 3. This is where things get weird. In Windows 7, there is a tool called Windows Defender. It is not the same. This Windows Defender is only an anti-spyware tool. It comes pre-installed with Windows 7. So when you open up Windows 7 and install it out of the box, generally the only thing you will have is Windows Defender, and you will only have an anti-spyware tool, not an antivirus tool. So that is one of the things that really confuses people a lot, because Windows Defender used to be one thing, an anti-spyware tool, then it became something else, a security suite, and now finally we're basically leaving the Windows Defender name behind. There's one more Windows Defender that's a little bit more obvious. Windows Defender Offline. Windows Defender Offline was a version of the Windows Defender Security Suite, the full antivirus, anti-spyware, anti-malware tool that you could burn onto a CD and then boot from. Doing so would allow you to run a security scan on a machine without the currently installed Windows needing to run. This actually allowed the security software to detect and remove some things that it wouldn't normally otherwise be able to do. But that was Windows Defender Offline. It's actually built into Windows 10 now, so there is no separate download. Finally, there's one consistent name here that unfortunately we're not using anymore, and that's Microsoft Security Essentials. Microsoft Security Essentials was the antivirus tool, the security suite, if you will, that you could download in Windows 7 and actually Windows Vista and XP as well. As it turns out, it's still available. If you have Windows 7, in fact, if you do a brand new installation of Windows 7, you will get Windows Defender, the anti-spyware tool, by default. You can then go download Microsoft Security Essentials to be your antivirus and the rest of your security suite. Microsoft Security Essentials continues to be updated in the sense that the anti-malware database that it uses is in fact still being updated today and is one of the things that will get updated automatically by Windows Update on Windows 7. You won't get security fixes to the operating system, but you will get updates to the anti-malware tool, Microsoft Security Essentials. So that's it in a nutshell. They're all kind of sort of the same thing. Microsoft Security Essentials became Windows Defender, which became Windows Security as it is today in Windows 10. Along the way, we had a couple of detours with the Windows Defender name taking on a couple of different meanings. Fortunately, like I said, with Windows 10, it's all pretty much been resolved. Windows Security is pretty much all you need to know, all you need to care about, and it's already on your machine. For links related to the article that this video was based on, or to leave a comment on that article, visit askleo.com/.
Okay, so again, as our video mentioned, no, that the Windows Defender, Windows Security, and Microsoft Essentials is downloadable through our laptop, provided that we are using Microsoft Windows for free, right? Okay, so I think this time you are now able, no, to install even the Microsoft Security Essentials, no? So in updating Microsoft Essentials, actually, no, okay. Updating antivirus software, again, virus definition files refers to the database of viruses, right? That the antivirus software uses to identify threats. Now, updating antivirus software virus definitions file is important because it will enable the program to detect newer and more complex viruses. So most antivirus programs may be configured to update automatically provided there is an internet access. Now, so again, as what our video present earlier, that for us to update our antivirus now, so you just simply open Microsoft Security Essentials, then a while ago presented the update tab, then click update. Just simply look for the update tab and click update, no? Then automatically you could able to see the definitions created, the definition last update, the virus definition version, and the spyware definition version. Then at the right side, you could able to see the update. Just simply click. No, then the Microsoft Security Essential automatically looking into the possible viruses or spyware. No, because again, every now and then, when Microsoft Security Essentials updating, no, the Security Essentials is installing the latest virus and spyware definitions from Microsoft. No. So this will be my references for this chapter or lesson number 2. Okay, so I think that's it, and I hope you've learned from this discussion.